Hi, I'm a tattoo artist. Hopefully you can see me. This is my second take. I have had quite a day. Let's just get straight into it. I'll try to make it quick. So I had a psychiatrist appointment this morning. Super exciting, super fun. I do that sometimes. I got to my psychiatrist appointments, but now we're trying to prepare and get there. Get a message on my phone saying, "Are you ready for your virtual appointment?" No, I was not. I was in my vehicle. Way far away from my home. So I then get onto my cellular device and I do my appointment in my car. It was fine, it was whatever, it was just annoying that I spent that much time getting there. I should have seen, it was my fault, oh well. But I thought, oh well, at least I picked up a matcha on the way. Now I've got my little sweet treat for the day, how fantastical. So I got my matcha and I went home after that. I got here, I had some type of thing that popped up on my Instagram, the threads thing. Every so often I peek through there because there's some really weirdly interesting stuff. Lots of very interesting hot takes, opinions, and topics that are things that are tattoo related that I want to talk about. So I was looking through and I was like, oh, these are actually good ideas. Maybe I'll do a little video of just talking about a few of the things that I'm seeing and sharing some of my opinions. I was like, good idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get everything set up because I've got time before my appointment. Great, fantastic. So I then get all of my stuff set up. My camera is right here. We're doing well. Trying to figure out my camera because the leveling is weird. I'm trying to figure it out. I haven't been able to figure it out. Nonetheless, it's better now. But it wasn't better previous. It dismounted itself. One of the legs just decided to dip out. And because of such things, my matcha that was entirely filled, 24 ounces, entire thing, full again, fell atop all of my stuff. This is my pencil case, totally everything, fully matcha'd. My bag of pencils and erasers and all of the things, filled, matcha everywhere. My Converse shoes fabric, soaked, absolutely soaked. The floor, absolutely soaked. It got on my camera, it got on the washer, the dryer, the laptop, my phone, my vape. At least one of the two was fine. My tripod, it got on everything. It got on everything. I was trying to keep it together. I did not, but I tried. Did not cry. Very nice. And I'm just trying to keep it together for this video. But nonetheless, let's get into it. I've got some interesting things that we can talk about depending on my mood because of everything that has gone today. Maybe it will get a little ranty, I don't even know. But today's been a day, is really all I gotta say. Okay, anyways, so instead, at least I had some little bevies that I didn't have to fully make. One of these guys, they're fine, they're very stevia-y. I thought I liked them, so I kept getting them, and now I just don't really love them. But I've got a project that I am working on that I did want to show y'all a little bit. Very much still in the works, but I've got some layering happening. Hopefully you can see that okay-ish. This is a flash sheet. This is going to be number one of multiple that I'm working on. Dude, why are you eating flour? He's eating flowers. I feel like I'm gonna lose my mind today. Nonetheless, I'm working on a very cool flash sheet. Okay, let's get into it. So I've got this first one. I'm just gonna look at it on my phone and then I'm gonna have them pop up on here. So all of these people, I'm just gonna totally take out their info on it just because that sketches me out and I just don't even want to mess with it. We'll see how that changes in the future. So this person says, "Is it just me?" multiple times. "Is this weird or normal?" "This girl has tattoos, her hands, shoulder, chest, and is getting her back done. So I asked her, 'Who's your tattoo artist?' She said her stepdad. Y'all letting stepdad touch y'all?" Interesting. By the way, there's many loud noises upstairs. They are not stopping, and I will not stop because I'm gonna lose my mind. So this was an interesting one. This is the first one that popped up and I was like, I'm gonna make a video about this. This really got me thinking. Most certainly there are scenarios where this type of thing can be sketchy, 100%. In my opinion, if there were, say, a stepdad tattooing his daughter, and said daughter wanted to get her, right here done, yeah, I would kind of feel really weird about that. The butt, yeah, I'd feel weird about that. The back, no. The chest, here up, that's not weird to me. Majority of areas aren't weird to me. if you are a father that decides to tattoo their child, as long as you're not a weirdo, then that should be fine. And as long as it's not really weird places. If they're really weird places, yeah, I'm gonna feel a little strange about that. For me, I feel like there's specific areas that I wouldn't want to tattoo on even friends, per se, just because that feels a little too close for comfort. There's specific areas for me that I do have a boundary where I just don't really plan to tattoo specific areas, and I feel like that's okay. We can all have those different boundaries depending on the reasons as to why. But certain people, maybe I would especially not really want to tattoo right up there, you know? Same thing, say, if my parents were to come and ask me for a tattoo, yeah, there would be totally specific areas where I would not want to tattoo them, and I think that is completely fair. But the chest is not that weird of a spot for me. Like, this whole thing doesn't go that low. I did not have to wear pasties. I could just wear a shirt that would go low enough. And for that, I don't feel like that's a big deal. If you were to go all the way around, sure, that would feel a little awkward to me. I feel like there's just so many specific areas where context is important. If you're weird, then it's weird. And if you're not weird, then it's probably not weird. I feel like that's kind of my good basis of it. Just because a male individual is tattooing a specific area does not mean that they're a creep. If they're a creep tattooing that specific area, then they're a creep. Full stop. 100%. So this next one is a little bit of an interesting one, and I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. It says MISOL. I'm not totally sure what that means. I had a severe manic episode when I was 19, and I now have Pedro Pascal on my arm permanently. This one makes me, again, feel very weird. This is why tattooing can be used in a wrong way, or could go wrong. And this doesn't mean that the artist was particularly in the wrong for this. If there's very specific kind of concerning things that people are getting, I probably won't tattoo them. If I get a feeling that this is a really bad idea, then I probably won't do it, because sometimes you kind of have to go with your gut. This is a scenario where if someone was going to give me this piece, I would probably want to have a very long conversation with this person. Do you really want Pedro Pascal and Baby Yoda on your arm? Most people, probably in a very good, safe state of mind, would probably say no to that. Okay, Bubs is getting on me, I think. So that's what's gonna happen. And that's why this is just so sad, because that's just a sad scenario. You know, it's like, I just feel terrible for this poor person that had to have gone through such a difficult time in life that had made them, unfortunately, have this decision that they have to live with, and hopefully they can find a way to get that covered up or do something about it, because I imagine that person, just off the bat, not even just because of it being Pedro Pascal and Baby Yoda, just it being what it is and being a upsetting tattoo from a very bad time in someone's life, that always sucks. That's always sad. It's not fun to look at tattoos from that time period. It's one of those things, and that's another reason why I'm fairly careful, especially if I feel like someone could be going through something manic, or might be struggling with like a psychosis or something of the like. I tend to want to be a little bit more careful with that type of things, just to make sure that I can try to keep them safe the best that I can. Okay, you could say in this scenario, well, if you're not going to do it, then someone else is. Yep. Unfortunately, but that doesn't mean I want to be the person that does it. And that's just kind of the bad scenario. It's like, do I want to do this tattoo that'll ruin someone's life, or do I want them to go to someone like that could be more unsafe and also get this tattoo that could ruin someone's life? That's a really weird place to be, and I'd be curious to hear what other opinions other people have, especially other tattooers on this, because I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. But either way, very sad. If it was not connected to a terrible thing happening mentally to someone, it would be absolutely hilarious to see this tattoo in person. But only if it was for funnies and not because it was a manic episode. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out this camera. Bubs is on me. I cannot move. Legally, that's not possible, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. Hopefully my camera's in the right place. So this one, what are your opinions on women having throat tattoos? This one just made me giggle, and I had to look at the comments about it. My opinion is, I don't tell women what they can and can't do with their if you want to make a choice for your body and you think it's the right thing for you and can bring you joy and it doesn't affect anyone else, then do it. A tattoo will not affect anyone else. But it was so silly that someone had to I need to tell the internet how they feel about women having a choice on tattoos, because how dare they? How dare they make a choice about their own bodies and using their money for their own business? Anger. Why is it anyone's business? Why are women's lives constantly under scrutiny? Yeah, for real, bro. So I saw this under the comment section for this. Made me giggle a little bit just because I was not expecting it. I'd rather look at this version of JD Vance. Then guess what you can do? You can look at that version of JD Vance whenever you please. That's the fun part about America, the US, the United States of America at this point. You have freedom. And you can look at that picture if you want to, and guess what? Since we have that American freedom, women can also get throat tattoos. Sorry. Unfortunate. It's almost like freedom means that people can make choices you don't agree with. Wild. So this one's a little bit more silly, haha, but makes me giggle. Your tattoos will be on you when you're older. I hope so, because they weren't cheap. No, for real. Because, yeah, I would hope so, because, yeah, they're not cheap. I would hope that they're sticking around. You pay a lot of money for those things, and you go through a lot for them. Yes, tattoos will be on you when you're older, and that's kind of a weird, interesting thing, especially because some of the stuff that I've talked about, people sometimes don't remember all the time that these things are really on you when you are older, forever. So sometimes it's kind of a reminder to make sure you know, okay, this little thing is going to be on me forever. Namely, one of the things that I have is my silly little fish on the back of my arm. Very, very silly. Very, very silly, haha. I have one of those desert rain frogs on my leg. Very nice. Very good. And those are silly little tattoos, and I love that they're going to be around when I'm older. Hopefully I get there. Someone also said, sorry I bawled my eyes out while trying to communicate. That wasn't very tattoos, black clothes, dark hair, man-eater of me. I thought that was funny. That made me giggle because it's very me. For a lot of people, especially namely people that don't know me, and especially other ladies, they tend to feel very intimidated by me. And I find that hilarious in a little bit of ways because I'm a little baby, man. I cry. I have feelings. I am so scared that everyone hates me. Dude, I'm such a little baby sometimes, and people think that I'm intimidating and spooky, and it's hilarious because, buddy, nah. So there was this individual that left a lot of comments that I kept saying, or threads or whatever, and they were very silly, haha, but I don't know this person enough to put them on there yet. But if you're around, hi. So this person says, every time you hear an autoclave ding, a tattoo angel gets its wings. That made me giggle, that made me happy, and made me slightly sad because we have no autoclave for tattoo equipment where I'm at, because none of us use coil machines or any of the tools necessary to need an autoclave. All of our stuff is disposable because we use pen machines. You can run into the argument of putting the grips in an autoclave. That is something that I do plan to do in the future, because I do want to get an autoclave for those purposes. And hopefully get a few different grips that I can just switch out. But nonetheless, it made me giggle. So this next one, I had to keep in the Nutter Butter one because I thought it was funny. Someone says, man, I wonder how all of the pen users got here in tattooing. Can't be from all the old, ugly, smelly coil users before them can't be. It has to be some ink master with a witty name and ink caps that look like toilet bowls. This made me giggles, multiple even, because I definitely use ink caps that look like toilet bowls. I love me some big caps, that's for sure. And it made me giggle because majority of us come from coil users. We love our old heads, and we love our coil users, and I just think the idea of the personified ink master person is just a funny concept to me, because it's very millennial hipster, but with a ton of tattoos, and slightly weird type of individual, has a very silly name, phenomenal at tattoos, and either is actually a reasonable person and just looks like a not reasonable person because of the editing, or is actually just a terror amongst people. I feel like that's what the Ink Master persona is in my eyes, and it just makes me giggle. So I find this to be an interesting topic. Unfortunately, this guy is getting obnoxious. He is not finding a comfortable spot. So, the truth about tiny tattoos, a hand poke confession. Tiny tattoos, expectations versus reality. What clients ask for, just a tiny dot on my finger. What they mean, visible from space but cute. What I hear, challenge accepted. What physics says, good luck with that. Tiny tattoo truth bombs. Smaller is not easier. Smaller is not faster. Smaller equals way more precision, and smaller magnifying lasts life. So this type of thing is interesting because I feel like a lot of people here are like, oh, I don't want to do small tattoos because I want to do just a bunch of big tattoos because I'm a very cool tattooer and I don't do small stuff. For me, that's why I've always stuck around to wanting to do small stuff, and I would plan to for the rest of my career, because I want to make sure that I can still do really good quality small tattoos. It is a challenge for me. It makes me better, and people get small tattoos from an artist that is educated to some extent. A lot of people say, oh, you want a small tattoo? Go to an apprentice. Go to someone smaller. You totally can, 100%. If that's what you want to do, fantastic. Go to an apprentice. Apprentices need skin. They need to learn somehow. If you are wanting to spend a little bit more, get a very high quality, very small tattoo, go to a really good artist, because they are incredibly difficult. Those tiny, tiny tattoos, I can't hide one little shaky line in that. You can't. Any little thing will be so much more obviously off in a small tattoo. So go to someone good. That, again, like I've talked about earlier in this clip, that can be hard because a lot of established tattooers don't like doing small tattoos. But that's why I do, because I feel like that's needed. And it's an interesting thing because people just don't really fully realize that, or they think of those little tattoos like, oh, it'll be fine, it's really simple, or it'll be quick. No, it might take a lot longer than you think it is, because I'm gonna have to slow down so much more, because, okay, this tattoo is this big, or this tattoo's like this big. That tattoo is so much smaller, I'm gonna slow down to a crawl to make sure that every single line is perfect. If I go into a big tattoo, I feel like I already have like a little bit more confidence, where I can go in a little bit slower, but not as slow. For me, I always hit the skin first really, really slow and really light, just so I can get a feeling for what the skin is gonna want to be like, because everyone's gonna be different, and I don't know until I tattoo you. Even if I've tattooed you before, I don't know how your skin's gonna react today, so I need to make sure that I go slow and really careful. But those little tattoos are so much pressure, I will take a lot more time on them, because, I mean, either way, you're going to be spending, especially for something small, a fairly set amount. For really small stuff, my limit has always been 100 to 150, but I'll even go down for small stuff into like 80s, because I just feel like it's fair for something small. But with that said, even $80, that's like my full setup, and I'm happy to do that, like 45 minutes worth of that time. For me, I'm $150 an hour. If it hits an hour, it'll be $150. So if I'm going to get something that I am expecting to be somewhere around an hour, then I'm going to utilize that entire hour. Just because it's smaller and I could go quicker doesn't mean that I want to go quicker, even if I'm going to get the exact same amount of money. So anyways, I went on a whole thing with that, but it's something important and I wanted to chat about it, and it's a little bit more serious-ish tattoo-y stuff. Okay, so I thought I recorded my last little bit here, but I did not. Anyways, so thank you for being around. I really appreciate it. If you disagree with me in any sense, please let me know. I would love to have a discussion. I also seek to have discussions with tattooers, even on here in person, or chatting over video call, or just debating stuff. I think that if we disagree, the way that we can chat and learn from one another is how we can make the world be a better place and be able to all have an open mind. So if you're interested in that type of thing, you can DM me on Instagram. The exact same name is on here, on Pit Design, or you can also just comment down below and we can discuss things down below. I really appreciate you being here. If you have any disagreements, I think that is a great thing, and I would love to learn from others. Keeping an open mind is the way that we can continue to grow. So, thank you for being around. I really appreciate it. I hope to hear from you, and I hope to see you around. Thank you. Bye-bye.